how do your desires feel to you? The ones that are new, but the ones that are also old. Do they feel torturous to you? Do you feel like, damn, like I wish that they were here yet? Or do you feel okay with them? Have you made your peace with those desires that are unfulfilled right now? Are you just like, yeah, it's unfulfilled right now, but I know that's going to come? Are you still hopeful? Are you still enthusiastic? Are you still anticipating them? Or are you just like, this desire did not work, it's a flop, it's a failure? Because how you feel about those unfulfilled desires says everything about your connection with source, and truly it's how your life experience right now is playing out. You see, when you can get into the approach that, you know what, my desires are unfulfilled right now, but I'm okay because I have the vibrational essence, I have the vibrational version, I have the general emotional platform that the manifestations will fill in with, but I'm just enjoying myself right now and I'm having a good time. When that's your conversation, then you're truly geared for the happily ever after, the expedition, the life experience that you really signed up here for. Because when you came into this body, you always knew that you would have unfulfilled desires, but you never doubted that. That never worried you because you always knew you were gonna get to where you wanted to go, because your vortex would be the place marker for you. You can never truly get lost because you would have this guidance system. So we want to get you in this attitude of, you know what, you don't have what you want right now, but it's about the emotional journey. It is about this emotional journey where you want to go. It's not about time, it's not about space. Your desires are not far away from you, to which you have to take a long physical journey that's full of mantras and affirmations. It's not about getting there, it's about matching your frequency to the presence of what you want instead of the absence of what you want, which is really interesting because you're always going to have unwanted things. That is the variety that you signed up for. You signed up for that experience. You can't get rid of unwanted. Rather, you knew that you would come here and you would focus on wanted and you would line up with what you want. So when a desire hatches in you, actually, let's back up. You're mostly source energy. You just are mostly source energy. And even for you to get that desire, the desires of the money, desire of the fame, the books, the acting fame, the awards, to get all those desires in the first place, you had to be in the receiving mode of your source. You were in your vortex, and then a manifestation occurred. When that desire hatches in your mind, that's the manifestation. And usually, if you don't get realistic and objective really quick, if you don't weigh the pros and cons, and if you don't introduce the but, you can really enjoy that desire. It's you have free will reign with your desire in your imagination. That desire feels good to you. It's like, ooh, this feels good, and you almost like expand it in your mind, and you feel it in your mind, and you just play with it in your mind, you pretend it in your mind. But when you get realistic, then your desire pretty much dies. And we want you to catch it next time it's happening, when you catch yourself right in the act of killing a desire, because that's what's always happening. You see, when you wake up, you're always fresh. When you sleep during your slumber, all of your momentum has reset. So you're having these desires all the time. You're having these reactions to your what is all the time. And you know what's really interesting about all that is that if you could literally want what you want and stay true to the frequency of what you want instead of the frequency of the absence of what you want, and you could march your way all the way to manifestation. You see, you live in a very fast time, in a fast-paced world where the energy is moving fast. So the difference between those who are getting what they want and those who are not getting what they want is getting very clear. And we want you to be, because we know that you came here with true importance and real fun. You were like, yo, I'm so down for this, because you always understood that, you know what, I'm gonna have what I want. And truly, the piece that you need to really start to cash in on is the fact that your desires are unfulfilled right now, but that doesn't bother you. Because when the absence of right now bothers you so much that you're just like, oh, like if this was better, I would just feel better, then you can never get to where you want to go. You see, it's your discomfort in the absence of what you want that's truly stealing your life force and making your life not fun. That's what's stopping you from going with the flow of your desires and with the flow of non-physical energy and with the flow of this source energy. That's what's stopping all of your manifestations, is because you're so mad right now that it's not where it is, because you know you have a lot of agency, you have a lot of free will, and honestly, you have a lot of reason, a lot of deliberate reason, because you know what? You look at life and you're like, you know what? I haven't had this thing for years and I've been trying to get it for years. So you know what, you want to stomp and throw tantrums, because at the very core of your being, you should understand that things should be going well for you, but you can't get there from there. You see, our message from the non-physical energy is not one of urgency. It really isn't. It's not one of you need to do this or something bad will happen. It's like you're floating on. Your life is going exactly as we all knew it to be when we signed up for this. It's just, we just knew you could be having so much, we just know that you could be having so much more fun with all of this, and yet you're doing so good for yourself. And it's truly that peace when you can understand that, you know what I want isn't here yet, but I can have the security of the money. I can have the fun of the dollars being spent. And when you really get to the simplicity of those emotions, and while they all are boring, because here's the thing, you want your manifestations, and we want you to want your manifestations too, but we want you to want them in a way that's vibrational. Because when it's vibrational, you can have it. And when it's vibrational, the absence, because here's the thing, you have to get the absence you have to get the fact that it's not here yet right now out of your vibration as much as you can. And how do you do that? By noticing the pieces that you do have, by focusing on what is working, by focusing on the essence of what you want. When you focus on the essence of what you want, it's really interesting because you realize that everything is for the connection to the vortex. And that's what really it means to fulfill the reason why you came here. You just came here to be fulfilled, and you came here to be fulfilled with this connection to source. You came here to be connected with source and then look at life and then look at everything. But your desires, the ones that are really hard and the ones that you have a lot of problem with, those desires that just won't behave, those are not the desires that you want to go searching for source energy on. You want to go on the subjects that are easy. And we know sometimes you're like, screw you, because I just want to get it. I want to use my grit and my mind and go there. And we're just saying, well, it's easier. There are easier ways to do it. And those easier ways truly are meditating, sleeping, napping, and going into the replenishment mode as much as you can. Doing those things that you like to do that put you in that easy spot of receiving, because that's when things it's like giving yourself the chance to even be in, rather than forcing yourself to go in. It's like, okay, let me just find a better time where I'm pretty much going to be there, and then milk it. You know what I mean? That's really what it's all about. That's where the ease of being a creator is, because that's all literally what a creator is. That's what deliberate creation is about. It's about choosing the emotions until that the emotions that you like are so easy and available for you to choose. They become your habits, they become your beliefs. And it's very interesting. It's very interesting to be in this time and space right now, because you came here, and a lot of us, because we were all deliberate creators, a lot of you didn't come here knowing that you would forget everything and that you would just have to, because you were like, you were done with that. You came here knowing that you would remember who you were. The ones who have subscribed, the ones who have really resonated, it's because you resonate with what we're saying, because it's who you are. You always knew that. You would come here, and you would come in the time of awakening where there'd be so many more conversations about knowing that you are non-physical energy. It's like, hey, you're non-physical, everything's doing great, you're doing a really good job. You're just non-physical energy. Don't forget that. And that's what we're here to say. You're non-physical energy. Don't forget that you're literally source energy. And so you have to catch in, and you really have to understand that you're vibrational, because you're so good at translating vibrations into what you can see, smell, taste, touch. And your desires are also vibrational. And the more you can enjoy them vibrationally, the more the absence leaves your vibration, and the more you get what you want. But you see, because when you find the emotion of what you want, the essence of what you want, you basically find harmonize with a very general, because emotions are general, and the money in your bank account is very specific. But the emotion is what we're telling you that is so easy to work with. It's like a clay that's really soft, and you can work with it. It doesn't torture you. It behaves. That's a really good way to put it. Those emotions behave because there's not a lot of resistance in them. They don't activate resistance in you. So now when you're talking about the security of money, for example, you're like, yeah, I don't have the money, but I have security. Like, what do you feel secure about? I feel secure in so many ways, in my thoughts and my clarity. I just feel so secure. I feel so secure in understanding who I am in my space in this universe. When those are the type of conversation that you're having, then you're really filling in the gap. You're really merging those gaps. You're really becoming that blended being that you came here to be. And also, you're fulfilling your reason for being. Your reason for being truly is for fun and joy, but also creation. Manifestations are really fun, but it's really interesting because it's like you're in this physical world, but we're trying to get you back to be vibrational, because we know that when you're vibrational, you can finally enjoy the physical world the way that you knew you could if you listen to all these messages and if you really followed your guidance system. And ultimately, you're doing a really good job of that. Everyone could be doing a better job of being vibrational, and we're not getting at anyone. It's just like, it's truly a leading edge. It is a leading edge. Emotions are general. You have to learn how to love emotion. You have to learn how to foster and love the emotion of the money, of the security of money, of the joy of money, before the physical version of it will ever come. Because do you understand what that means? 99% of everything that you want is already done vibrationally before you see any evidence. So by the time you see any evidence, that means that so much energy has been lined up, so much energy. It's so not far down the line instead of in terms of distance, but far down the line in terms of energy alignment. So by the time you see it, you've held that thought. Are you ready for this? You haven't contradicted that thought for a while in order for it to really manifest into your reality. And when we mean a while, it's relative to your desire. And so you're doing a really good job. Everyone is, and here's the thing. when you start taking score of how you feel, then you're walking around as this whole being that you are. You are fulfilled. You are like, yes, I am satisfying my reason for being here. I feel fulfilled. You are fulfilled. You are a fulfilled being. You are this fulfilled being that when you find your fulfillment and then you start thinking about the things that this life has caused interest in you, then you really start to have fun. It's just, there's resistance on the trail, and you're never going to get rid of the resistance. So as you chip away at the resistance and as you gradually get through everything, you will have the manifestations that you want. And we continue to tell you, enjoy the emotions of what you want. You can have the pieces of your desire that are reachable to you right now, which are the emotional versions of them, the emotional being, the emotional general platforms, the emotional feelings of your desire, the bliss, the pureness, the joy, the ecstasy, the ease, the flow, the fun, the satisfaction, the joy, the ease, the fun, the flow. You see how those words, they just feel good. They just feel good. They just resonate with you. Like, ooh, doesn't ease just feel so good? And as you really continue with those words, security, freedom, choices, as you start to really harmonize with these words and really break them out in your mind, really focus on them, then you really start to get the ball rolling. And by the time the ball gets rolling enough, ideas are going to start coming into your mind. And impulses are just, it's so funny because you're going to get ideas and impulses, and you just have to know when impulses are coming from source. So you're not trying to kill them, you're trying to follow them. When the impulse tells you to go that second, don't put it off. Don't put off your impulses, because it's your inner being saying the coast is clear, go get what you want. So you have to go do that. You have to follow your impulses, and you have to know where your impulses are coming from first, and then you have to follow them when the time is right. And so everyone is fulfilling your being because you're vibrational. You're vibrational. So that means that you're always out ahead of reality. Reality is always slow. That's what it's really interesting about being this blended being, is that you're vibrational, meaning you're in the future while your body right now is in the past. While you can, and that's so funny, because that's literally what's screwing everyone over, because what they're seeing right now is the past, and what they're feeling is in the future. So in order to bridge those two gaps, you have to orient yourself to the emotion and not for the details that will fill in later, because now it's an ulterior motive. When you're like, oh, I know I focus on the feeling, where are the details, then you kill your own momentum and shoot yourself in your own foot. So really love the emotions for the emotions. Enjoy your emotions. Enjoy the feeling of your desire. Enjoy the feeling and call that the emotional manifestation, because it is. And start to really practice and train yourself to really love the emotional manifestation, because someone would say, well, I don't have time to do that. I don't have time to just enjoy them. I don't have time to talk about ease, flow, because to be honest, you really do have to slow down to have those types of conversations, and maybe even taking some time aside every day and writing them down and finding those feelings and doing those focusing intentions of why do I want it, and actually getting down and feeling those emotions purely in your solar plexus. Someone would say, well, that's too slow for me. I don't have time to do that. I knew I desire tomorrow. And we say, well, you do not have time to do it, because the more that you do it, the more you practice these general grids and these general platforms, that literally the details will start to flow in on, because we're trying to teach you how to prepare yourself for your desire. And this is just the best way to do it, because emotions are very, very general. And as you continue to prepare yourself, and as you continue to be like, you know what, I am where I am, and I'm always going to be here. I'm always going to be in this place of perpetual becoming. So I'm in peace with that, and I'm making peace with reality. So you know what, I'm okay without my desires, because I know I feel them. I feel them. I feel the security of the money. I feel the security of having a really amazing career. I have the fun of having something amazing to do every day, and having so much money to spend, and having so many places to go to every day. I'm having the fun of all that. And as you start having those conversations, your life will start changing. But we don't want you to do it for the results. We want you to do it for how you feel. For we know that you're going to get to the point where negative emotion is just something that you can no longer hold anymore. You can't hold it in your mind. Your appetite and your tolerance for negative emotion just goes way, way down. And that's the way it should be. You're an eternal consciousness. You're in this extension of a physical body. And as you enjoy and implore yourself, and as you really start to create preferences and you start to really enjoy yourself in this physical body, then you start to expand so fast. And it's truly in your best interest to catch up with that expansion. And really, a really good way to do that is by becoming very emotionally invested, by becoming very emotionally oriented, by becoming vibrationally oriented, which is the same thing as being emotionally oriented, which means you're taking score of how good you're feeling instead of what you have. Taking good score of how good you feel.